What's up in War Eagle, everybody? You got Ike Jones, and we are back inside of Lobtown. We're talking about Auburn. We are talking about Missouri. The matchup is going down tonight inside of Missouri Arena. Let's get straight to it. Let's head inside the town.
The Auburn Express.
You are now listening to The War Report Lobtown Podcast. With your boy Ike Jones.
What's going on, everybody, man? Let's get in here and talk about this game sponsored by BetUS, where the game begins. You got Ike Jones in here talking about Missouri versus Auburn. Auburn headed into Missouri today to take on the Tigers. Tigers versus Tigers today. When we look at the head-to-head matchup between these two teams, it's pretty evident that Auburn has the advantage in just about every statistical category except for steals. Missouri's a little bit better in steals per game, but otherwise Auburn, looks to have the advantage in this one. Coach Dennis Gates has not had the success that I think a lot of people thought he would have in year two. Only 8 wins on the season, no wins yet in the SEC. But by no means is Auburn saying that Missouri is going to be a cupcake. They're going to come in here ready to play if Coach Pearl has anything to say about it. He said it in his press conference. This isn't a team that's laid down all season. They've had a lot of close losses this year, heartbreaking losses, and Auburn's going to have to figure out a way to put this team away. The ESPN matchup predictor shows a 91% chance that Auburn wins this game. But listen, you got to go out there and you got to win it on the court. Say this versus Mississippi State. Say it again. These games aren't played on paper. You got to win it on the floor. So we'll see what happens in this one. When we go over to the stat leaders, same thing for Auburn. If you've been watching, Janai Broom's the guy. Trey Donaldson is on assists and KD Johnson on steals. But for Missouri, Nick Honor, he is, not Nick Honor, Sean East. Sean East is the guy. Sean East is the engine of this team, and he's the one that makes it go. He's the leading scorer and assist guy. He's the high usage man. They're going to put the ball in his hands and trust him to make good decisions with it. Noah Carter's played well for them, senior. He's the leader in rebounds. Now, he's averaging 4.5 or something like that rebounds per game. Let me make sure I get the young man's statistics correct. Almost 5 rebounds per game, actually. So he's doing well on the boards for them this season. And he's leading the charge there in their ability to get on the glass. As far as steals are concerned, you're talking about Anthony Robinson with 1.4 steals per game, and then Aiden Shaw with 1.2 blocks per game is the guy for them on the back end. And that's, he's a guy who's not really the tallest player in the world, like 6'7", 6'8" guy, but he's blocking a lot of shots for him this season. And it's going to be interesting to see how Auburn deals with the length that Missouri, and they don't have a bunch of 7-footers. They got some tall guys on that team, but they do have multiple kind of tall forwards that are going to be out there that do a good job of playing in the paint. So going to be interesting to see how Auburn deals with that. Before we get too far into this, again, this is brought to you by BetUS, where the game begins. Quick word from them before we get into our betting lines from this. BetUS.
BetUS, America's favorite sportsbook and casino. Live betting and racebook. We're celebrating 30 years with a historic offer. A 125% sign-up bonus on your first 3 deposits. Plus 10% gambler's insurance. Get started today. BetUS, where the game begins.
That's right, BetUS, where the game begins. The link will be in the description of the video if you want to sign up, and that lets them know the War Report sent you. You'll get that 125 bonus on your first 3 deposits by using that link. We definitely appreciate you guys supporting us, and maybe you get yourself a little money betting on a couple of games. The lines are as follows for this. Auburn is favored right now by 11.5 points in this game. The money line is minus 100 to Auburn, plus 550 for Missouri. And then Auburn's expected to score around 81 points in this game. The over-under for the team is 80.5, while Missouri is at 69. The game over-under is at 149 points. Again, follow the link in the description to be able to get in on the action there. When we talk about Missouri as an offensive squad, they are a team that is really kind of predicated on being able to shoot good 2-pointers, right? Like their the reverse of some of the teams that Auburn has played more this season, right? Where they're better from three than they are from two. Missouri is better from two than they are from three. They're decent from three. They have some really legitimate 3-point shooters. When you talk about Sean East, he's over 40%. When you talk about Bates, he is up over 38%, and so is Nick Honor, over 38% on the season, shooting the ball particularly well from three. So they have some guys that can fill it up, but what they want to do is be efficient, and they really want to get to the free throw line to be able to slow the pace down and get some points in that way. I think that's going to be the big thing, a big key for Auburn in this game is figuring out how to defend without fouling so they keep themselves out of foul trouble and stop Missouri from being able to get those additional points without having to earn them out there on the floor going against Auburn's set defense. So if Auburn can defend well without fouling and getting themselves in tough foul situations, because Missouri is going to drive the basketball hard. They got a lot of guys who can handle the basketball. Dennis Gates has been adept at putting these kind of small ball lineups together that have a bunch of guys who are ball handlers despite what their size is. And they're going to want to drive the ball to the paint, and they're going to want to take those tough contested twos and be able to make them, particularly their guy, Sean East out there making a lot of the tough contested twos. He's a true three-level scorer. I told you he shoots over 40% from three, but he shoots a really great percentage from two, and he makes good medium-range decisions and good decisions around the basket. He's a tough cover, and he's a guy who can just get his shot off. He's adept at being able to get his shot off. He's going to be a tough cover for Auburn tonight. It's going to be incumbent upon the guards to be able to play well against him. He's a 6'3" guy, so he has some length, and his ability to score in the paint is second to none. So I'm looking forward to seeing how Auburn decides to defend him. I'm looking for Auburn to switch up the defenses a little bit, maybe play a little bit of zone just to throw them off, maybe press them a little bit just to get them sped up a little bit more than what they want to be able to, making some poor decisions with the basketball. They do have, guys who can handle the ball at 4, maybe 5 positions on the floor at a time, so it's not going to be easy to trap and press a team like that unless they're just making poor decisions. So just switching it up, giving them different looks is something I look forward to Auburn being able to do in this basketball game. When you flip it over to the other side and you talk about them defensively, again, they haven't won a lot of games this year, so of course they're not going to be a great statistical defensive team. They give you a lot of effort, though, so what they're going to look to do is kind of play good team defense, particularly forcing tough twos in the paint because they do have some size and some length to bother shots. What they're going to want to do is really just try to take away Johni Broome tonight. I think that they're going to have a concentrated effort, probably playing a bit of zone to just kind of take away. They're not a team that likes to play a lot of zone, but I think they will switch to playing some zone tonight, particularly if Auburn's not shooting the ball well from the outside. I think they might go to a little bit more zone in this game to try to keep the ball away from Johni Broome in the paint and force Auburn to go in other directions to be able to get points. So going to be incumbent on Auburn really, and I'm looking at Trey Donaldson particularly heavy in this game. Is he going to be able to reproduce what he did against Mississippi State? And that's pushing the pace of the ball and being able to get ahead of the set defense. And then when he gets down in there, he's not looking to bully his way to the rim. He's really kind of comfortable in the medium range to be either a facilitator over the top to another big that's running the floor with him, kicking it out to the opposite side to be able to get it out to a three-point shooter, or is he going to be able to take that medium range floater or jump shot to get more opportunities for himself to be able to score? How efficient can Trey Donaldson be with his usage in the paint tonight? It's going to be something that I'm looking forward to seeing against, again, a pushed tempo, not waiting for Missouri to get into their set defense to get into some of that stuff, looking to see how Trey Donaldson handles that in a second game consecutively, because I feel like he did a really good job of that against Mississippi State. This is a team, again, that they have some length, but they're not really sizable. So I don't really think that they want to get into a pushing match with Johni Broome in the paint. And I look for guys like Chaney Johnson actually to be able to go out there and physically compete really well in this game. He's going to need to be able to do that against some of the guys that Missouri has at those forward positions that can step out and shoot the three a little bit, but they can also be big body defenders. And I think Chaney kind of likes that energy. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he does in this game. But overall, I think this is a game that Auburn should win. But listen, you guys don't come here to hear me rattle on. You come here to give your thoughts, and I want to hear those thoughts right now. What are your score predictions for this game? Is Auburn going to be able to get out of Missouri Arena with the win? Give me some score predictions and your thoughts on some of the matchups that you want to be able to see. Again, as always, this is brought to you by BetUS.com. We'll be back at you with some post-game reactions. But before we get out of here, you guys make sure that you like the video, subscribe to the channel, share the content with somebody else, and I'll look forward to talking to you after the game is over with. But until then, and as always, War Eagle.